Good morning, 9:10, or should I say, top of the morning to ya. I'm done with Irish accents. If you're at our weekend service, you know what I'm talking about. If you weren't, ask me about it on Wednesday. But I'm done with Irish accents until next March. But what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning back into the Daily Dose. Happy Monday. I hope your day is off to a good start. This morning, I'm going to be focusing on Matthew chapter 26. I'm starting in verse 36. And I'm going to be reading about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. So what I wanted to challenge you guys with today is I wanted to reiterate what Austin taught this weekend, his challenge of silence and solitude. And being alone with Jesus, starting our days a little bit early. As we looked at Mark this weekend, tons, example after example of Jesus withdrawing to be alone and silent with God. And so that's what I want to talk about today. That's what I want to challenge you guys with. So we're going to dive into the scripture, then we're going to talk about it a little bit. So if you have a Bible, we're reading on Matthew 26. Then Jesus went up with them to the olive grove called Gethsemane, and he said, "Sit here while I go over there to pray." He took Peter and Zebedee's two sons, James and John, and he became anguished and distressed. He told them, "My soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." He went on a little farther and bowed his face to the ground, praying, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup of suffering be taken away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine." Then he returned to his disciples and found them asleep. He said to Peter, "Couldn't you watch with me even 1 hour? Keep watch and pray so that you will not give in temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak." So I want to focus on two parts. The first is that in Jesus' greatest time of distress, so he withdrew to the Garden of Gethsemane with his disciples the night before he got arrested to start going on trial and ultimately be crucified. As we saw in that verse, he's incredibly anguished, he's stressed. And so what did he do? He's withdrawing to be with his Father. This is not something that we do not necessarily because we need rest, but this is where Jesus drew power. He knew where the power came from, and getting alone with God. And throughout the Gospels, we see that before Jesus goes through a trial, before he picks the disciples, before these big times of ministry, he withdraws to be alone with God because he knows where the power comes from. He knows he's filling up. As Austin looked at this weekend, who's filling up your cup? The life of a follower of Christ is one of we're being filled up with Jesus. We're filled with his love. We're receiving first and foremost from him. And then we go into our schools, we go into our communities and our teams. And then what are we pouring out? We're pouring out the love that's with we're filled. And at that same time, when God's filling us up, we're not going around and asking our friends, our sports, trying to get filled up here and there and here. And the second part of that verse I want to focus on is the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. And that's why this is called a spiritual discipline, because this is not our natural default. My natural default isn't to walk up early and follow Christ. You know, we want to sleep in, and so the spirit is willing, the body is weak. That's why we have to discipline ourselves. Set an alarm early, whether you feel like doing it or not. We do it because we know the incredible benefit that it has for us. We do it day in and day out because of the incredible benefits that it has in our life. So I want to challenge you guys with that. Try it for a week. Try it for 1 week. Wake up an extra 20 minutes earlier. Start your day with Jesus. Start in silence. Start in prayer. Read some scripture. If you're in leadership, we talked about Lectio Divina, the sacred reading. And yeah, start there, guys. And I promise you, you'll notice your day is different. And you'll notice a huge change in just throughout the day. And so that's our challenge for you this week. I hope you have a great Monday and a great week. We're going to see you Wednesday for our midweek. We love you guys. We're praying for you. Can't wait to see you.